Alright, so I'm going to do a quick video here on the upcoming model from HGLRC called the Draknight or Draknight. I guess it's short for Dragon Knight, similar to what they did previously with this one here, this Shark or Dragon Shark. I did review that one. For whatever reason, HGLRC said that they either aren't going to have this new model reviewed or they're just not going to send it to me. So I might as well make a video and compare to both the previous model, the Draknight Shark, and also one that I reviewed previously, the Happy model baseline. So this is probably going to be pretty close to what the Draknight is going to be, because this is a 2-inch 2S setup. So pretty much the same as what comes on the baseline. And so let's just take a look at the pictures first. It's a 2mm bottom plate, 1002 motors at 10,000 kV. You have an all-in-one flight controller board here. I don't see a VTX. It might be separate. Gem fan 3-bladed 2-inch props, and you got these metal side plates here. For I guess they have this setup here, instead of the camera in a canopy in the middle, the camera's in the front. With so if you don't want props in view, this is a little bit different setup here. Here's a look at the all-in-one flight controller board. So it's a single board. This one has Express LRS, and I think there's some other receiver versions. TBS Crossfire, I believe that's heavier though. This one's like 43. I'll go to the specifications in a second here. Again, the Gem fan 2-inch 3-bladed props. You have a battery tray here on the bottom, and it looks like instead of a single 2S battery with an XT30, they're going with a dual battery setup here for 2S, and these look like those new GMB 830 connectors. So pluses and minuses, a little bit less weight for the connectors, but then for performance-wise, I wouldn't necessarily go with this setup here. For cruising around, it should be fine, but I think the XT30 would be better. Looks like you can carry a run-cam thumb if you want on this one. Should be able to handle that. Got an LED in the back and a buzzer. So they're saying this is suitable for both freestyle and racing. Yeah, maybe other. I'm not sure how this will do against the baseline, but I'll talk about that here in a second. They're saying it's pretty quiet, under 60 dB. Now here they're saying that the drone weighs 44.3 grams, and this looks like the Express LRS version. You got the all-in-one flight controller board with the motors, and the motors are on plugs here, and they're going out to the side. And I know that the Happy model baseline with bigger motors, I think these are 1002, 10,000 kV. The Happy model has 1103 at like 11,000 kV, and the same props, and also the same 12 amp ESCs. But the Happy model weighs quite a bit less. It weighs like 40 grams. So this is heavier, obviously with the metal cage here. That is adding probably more weight. And then as you can see here in the top profile here, the sides of the all-in-one flight controller board are going to be exposed to tree branches, that kind of thing here. So the Happy model canopy is a little bit better in terms of protecting the all-in-one flight controller board compared to this setup here. Yeah, so here are the specs, and yeah, it's 44.3 grams for the Express LRS version and 46 grams for the Crossfire version. And it does look like that it is 12 amp ECs, and the video transmitter up to 400 watts is built into the flight controller board. And it looks like the receiver is an SPI receiver for Express LRS. So I'm not sure if it's going to come with version 2 or version 3 firmware. It depends on which version of Betaflight it comes with. So again, 1003 motors here, 10,000 kV. I believe the Draknight Shark here came with 1002 motors. Yeah, so similar motors, 1002, 21,000 kV for the Draknight Shark. That was 1.6-inch prop and a 1S setup instead of a 2S. So they're going 2S here on the Draknight, and a slightly bigger 1003 motor. So the 1103 motor on the Happy model is going to be better, a slightly higher kV as well. And it's strange that this is heavier with a smaller motor, which means that those side cages, the metal side cages that hold the camera, are pretty heavy compared to the plastic canopy of the baseline. So In terms of performance, the Happy model is going to be a little bit better with a bigger motor and a little bit less weight. Plus, it's got the XD30 connector for, I think, a better battery setup for performance. If you're cruising around, either one of these will be fine. It doesn't really matter in terms of cruising around power because you're not going to be pushing the battery connector or the motors that much. And I believe this one's also using the CATX ant. I think the Happy model was also the CATX ant. That's pretty much standard on all of the models these days for analog. So they're recommending a 2S550 or 2S720, and those are the batteries that they, are probably going to be those GMB type batteries with the A30 connectors. Yeah, so I think the bottom line is this is definitely going to have better performance than the DrakNight, which is a 1S setup on a 1002 motor, and this is a 2S setup on a bigger prop, 2-inch prop, and a little bit bigger motor. So definitely, a 2S is always going to be 1S every day of the week, and this is going to have better performance than the previous model, the DrakNight. But I think this is not going to have as good a performance compared to the Happy model. Just looking at the specs, we'll have to see what some of the other reviewers say. I'm sure some of the big channels are going to be getting this and probably saying this is the best thing ever. Who knows? But just looking at the specs, doesn't look like it's much better than the Happy model. So if you're looking for performance, I would probably go with the Happy model over this one. There is a chance, even though this is a little bit heavier, that this one here with a slightly smaller motor might be a little bit more efficient. So if you're looking for more flight time with those two 1S720 batteries, could be a little bit better in terms of flight time compared to the Happy model. But of course, I'm not going to have a chance to actually perform that test. But that's just my speculation. It's a slightly smaller motor. You might be able to squeeze out an additional 15, 20 seconds, perhaps, is my guess. Otherwise, it's pretty similar to the baseline. It's just that I think on the top end for performance, the baseline is going to probably outperform this model because it's got the bigger motor and it's got a little bit less weight. Anyway, that's going to cover for this video. Links to everything down in the video description. I'll also link my review of the baseline from, it was a few months ago, I think. It's been a while. But if you want to have an idea of what this would perform like, it's probably going to be about the same as the baseline, maybe a little bit less, but in terms of what it looks like in recorded flight in the video, probably not much difference. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. That'd really help out the channel. That'll do it for this video. Talk to you guys in the next one.